Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Camden and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview ahead of our Premier League fixture on Sunday against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. It feels like absolutely ages since we've done a game preview. It is absolutely ages since we've previewed the game. Obviously coming off the back of the winter break. Everton haven't played obviously since the win against Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago, so it's great to be back. The Blues are back in action, the boys are back finally. We're going to talk about the game today. We're going to talk about the possibility of Gomes starting his first Premier League game obviously since that horrific injury against Tottenham towards the back end of last year. And you know what? I've been thinking sort of all day about whether I believe Gomes will start or not. And if you'd have asked me this question yesterday, if you'd have asked me this question on Wednesday, I think we did do the Ask Me Anything on Wednesday, and I think this question popped up a couple of times, and I actually said I don't feel like he will start. I think he'd be given a rest for another week. However, Carlo Ancelotti has had his pre-game press conference today. He's made some interesting quotes about Gomes, and I do believe he'll start tomorrow for Everton. Obviously, we'll talk through my predicted starting 11 as well. Before we go into the preview, before we go into talking about the game in itself, I just want to say a massive congratulations to Speedo Mick. As I'm sure all of you know, Speedo Mick currently doing a 1,000-mile walk from John O'Groats to Land's End. That's literally one end of the United Kingdom all the way down to the other, starting all the way up in the arse end of nowhere in Scotland and coming all the way down. A 1,000-mile walk. I read some stats on it today. I don't know if these are entirely true. I read them online that it's like walking a marathon, if not more, every single day for Speedo Mick. Obviously, he's not had much time out of it as well, but today he has managed to raise £250,000, £250,000. He is raised today thanks to obviously everybody's donations, and I just want to say a massive congratulations and well done to Speedo Mick. That's a fantastic achievement, and what he is doing is absolutely unbelievable. That man deserves the Pride of Britain award. He deserves a knighthood. He deserves everything. What he is doing for raising money and what he's doing for raising awareness is absolutely fantastic. So a big congratulations to Speedo Mick, obviously, for hitting that £250,000 mark today. Not long to go on his walk. I think he might finish it within the next couple of days, which obviously is fantastic. He's actually having a homecoming party in Liverpool in the Camp and Furnace. I think it's towards the middle to the end of March. So if you live around the area, go and get yourselves a ticket. I'll be there myself. We're going to go and we're going to celebrate a fantastic achievement from Speedo Mick. So big congratulations to Mick. Obviously going into the game, Everton's first game since our win against Crystal Palace, in really good form. Only Liverpool are ahead of us on the form table. Obviously Arsenal in okay form themselves, haven't quite picked it up like we have with Carlo Ancelotti, obviously with their new manager Mikel Arteta. However, there is a feel-good factor surrounding the football club. The fans obviously are feeling optimistic. They're feeling really positive for the future. Obviously, they won in the Europa League yesterday. I think they beat Olympiacos 1-0. Their last Premier League victory being that big 4-0 win against Newcastle. The first sort of big win under Mikel Arteta, and I think the first sort of game for Arsenal fans to a degree where everything sort of come together for Mikel Arteta as well. So obviously they're going to be a tough team. Listen, notoriously Everton don't do well at the Emirates Stadium. I read a tweet a couple of days ago, I think it was about a week or so ago, that said the Emirates is like Everton's London the Emirates is like London Anfield. We really don't do well there, and we don't do well there. I remember, a couple of years ago we got absolutely tonked there. We were notoriously not done well over the years. I remember Gerard Deulofeu scoring an equaliser to a game that I think ended 1-1, which was probably our best result at the Emirates for quite some time. I think we lost 2-0 there last year in a game that we had chances to win, and we had chances to definitely get back into the game, but Arsenal's two up front made us pay, and we couldn't get back into the game. So it's going to be a tough game. Mikel Arteta, like I said, obviously has brought that feel-good factor back to their football club. They're enjoying the football, the players are enjoying the football, the fans are enjoying watching it as well. There's a massive amount of positivity surrounding Arsenal at the moment. Obviously, very similarly to Everton, massive amount of positivity, massive amount of optimism surrounding Everton Football Club. Carlo Ancelotti done absolutely fantastically since he's come in. Only one Premier League defeat since he's come in, and that was to the champions Manchester City. It's going to be a tough game for Everton. It's going to be a really tough game for Everton. For me, we really and ideally need to get a result out of this game. Now, I'm not probably as confident as to say that I think we'll go out and win. I think we should be going out and getting at least a point. Listen, if we want to carry on in this sort of road and race for Europe or whatever it be, whether it be the Europa League or the Champions League. These are the games that we need to start picking up points in, because we've done really, really well recently in winning the games against the sides that we should be winning. Your Crystal Palaces at home, your Newcastle's away, etc. Brighton's at home. The games that we should be really winning, but we need to now go away to the teams like Arsenal, like Tottenham, like Man United, the big sides, and get results there. Obviously, we've seen under Duncan Ferguson got a good 1-1 draw against Manchester United at Old Trafford. On another day we could have won that game. But it is going to be difficult against Arsenal. We don't do well notoriously against them. Obviously, I'm hoping that a lot of it will change. We've seen a lot of changes by since Carlo Ancelotti's come in. Obviously, mentality-wise, and coming back from being 2 goals down with 10 men to winning a game of football. Obviously, bouncing back against Crystal Palace after we conceded the equaliser. So I'm hoping that there is sort of a mentality switch, and we can go out there and we can get at least a point on Sunday, because at the end of the day, Arsenal currently sitting in 10th in the Premier League, 34 points and just 2 points behind Everton. So if Arsenal win, if Arsenal beat us on Sunday, they'll go above us, of course, and I think we'll then drop to 10th or maybe even 11th, depending on some of the results surrounding us. And that's not what we want. Listen, when you've got sides like Wolves, Tottenham, Sheffield United, Arsenal, Man United surrounding you, and they're picking up results, we really, really do need to be picking up results, even in games against the bigger sides, even in games against the sides that notoriously we haven't done well in. Arsenal are a side that are in and around our position, currently sitting below us, but if they win, they will go above us. Man United, obviously Wolves, Sheffield United, Tottenham, all picked up some valuable points recently. So we need to be, we need to carry on doing that. At the end of the day, we start the international break sitting in 7th place, a point or so off 6th, and only 5 points or so off 5th. Now, obviously, mathematically, we're still in and around that position, but we've dropped, 2 places since then, because Tottenham have been and got a result. Wolves obviously got a draw against Leicester, which wasn't ideal. Manchester United got a win as well. Everton, all since we play Crystal Palace. So for me, it's going to be massively difficult. Obviously, we know Arsenal's front sort of 3-4, whatever. Their attackers are fantastic. They've got some real quality in attack. They've got the likes of Lacazette. They've got the likes of Aubameyang. They've got the likes of Pepe, Martinelli, who I think's fantastic as well. I think I'd probably rather play against Lacazette than Martinelli, to be honest with you. I think he's a real goal scoring machine. Obviously, they've got Saka, who gets up there and gets involved and scores as well. I think Arsenal, for me, without being disrespectful, I'd probably compare them to having, if it was a car, it would have the front of a Ferrari and the back end of like a Peugeot or something, because I think defensively is where they fall apart, and where we can exploit them on Sunday. We need to make sure that we're creating a lot of opportunities and that we're putting those opportunities in the back of the net as well. Dominic Calvert-Lewin needs to be on his game, as does Richarlison as well. And obviously, there's a massive job for the defence, whether it be Mina and Keane, whether it be Keane and Holgate, Mina and Holgate. The defence need to be really tight and really composed, because Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, Martinelli, they can all massively hurt you if you're not sort of screwed on, and if you're not, concentrating on the game as you should be. So for me, it's pretty much going to be a game of Everton taking our chances, breaking down, Arsenal using our power, using our pace in counter-attack, playing through them defensively, trying to, get the wrong side of the defence, likes of David Luiz, who I really don't rate. Mustafi, who, okay, he's done a lot better since Arteta's come in, but genuinely isn't that good of a centre-half, if we're being honest. But in saying that and in doing that, we're also going to have to be massively strong defensively as well, because they have got a good attacking line, it is to be said. Obviously, we've seen Everton take on Arsenal at Goodison Park in December. It was Duncan Ferguson's last game in charge of Everton. Arteta had been announced as Arsenal manager, and Ancelotti had been announced as Everton manager the very morning of that game. And we've seen a pretty boring draw. Both teams seemed a little bit, lack of energy. Obviously, you could tell that the new managers were on the horizon and things were going to change, and it was going to be the start of something new, because it was quite a boring, lackadaisical game of football where neither team really got going. Hopefully it's different, and hopefully it goes in Everton's favour on Sunday. I'm just going to tweet the team out so everybody knows that we are live, and then we'll get into the live comments. Obviously, before we go into giving my predicted starting 11, talking about my predicted starting 11. If you're enjoying this team, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. It means an absolute massive amount to me. It is a bit later than usual, 7 o'clock. I do apologise. I had a driving lesson, so I couldn't sit down at 5:30 or the usual time. So if you could get this team shared, if you could get as many people in here as possible, it will mean a massive amount to me. Get it on your socials. Send it to your family, your mums, your dads, your cats, your dogs. Let's get everyone involved in the live team. So we'll dive into the live comments now before I go into my predicted starting 11. CJ says, I will pick the same team apart from that. I will play Keane on the wing over Iwobi. Keane was originally my choice on the wing. However, I did change because I just think that recently Carlo Ancelotti has being more likely to choose somebody like an Alex Iwobi on the wing. Obviously, what we know from his press conference, just a little bit of an update. I'll go into the Andre Gomes update before I start. He predicted starting 11, but just an update on the wingers. Bernard is said to be fit and ready to play, and he's back. He's in contention. However, Carlo Ancelotti today did say that Theo Walcott is quite a big doubt. He will have a late fitness test ahead of the game, but at the minute he's looking a doubt. So obviously I'm going off the assumption that Theo Walcott won't be fit. I just think he'll put Iwobi in there over Moise Keane. Ewan says we'll get 3 points against Arsenal. I hope so, mate. William says, Cam lad, what's happening? Ziad says Sigurdsson to go. William says, how's everyone doing in the chat? Ziad says, how much would Sigurdsson go for? Probably 20 million at the most. William says Sigurdsson, hopefully we can get 15 for him. I'd take that, to be honest. Max's score prediction, I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2, to be honest with you, mate, and I'll talk about that in a second. Wayne says, Wormy good, you like Sims goal the other night. Ziad says Nick Pope to replace Pickford. I'd love Nick Pope at Everton, but I don't know whether, he would be able to come in, because Carlo Ancelotti also spoke about Jordan Pickford today. We'll go into those quotes in just a second. We'll talk about Ancelotti's pre-game press conference just before we go into the predicted starting 11. Wormy says the game has KG draw written all over it. I agree. Wormy says hey Jess. Jess says hey. Wormy says yeah Wayne. Nice to see Rally gonna win. Wormy also says not sure if I like it. You do hit the thumb. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button if you can. Wayne says need to beat these. They played midweek. Need to come on strong in this. We do 100%. Steve says we have really missed Gomes since the injury of Son. I hope he's ready to start on Sunday. We just put Mikel to shame. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. Wayne says hopefully Wayne, but I can see both teams not overcoming both in the same position. He also says can't you drive lad when you're doing your test? How's it going? Have you killed a squirrel or a hedgehog? Yeah, I failed me 30 twice. I can drive, but I just can't pass this 30. Uden said to play FIFA 20 for Xbox One. I don't to play PlayStation. Ziad says who to replace Sigurdsson. Jack Grealish, hopefully. And Ziad says where's Sidibe? I'll talk about Sidibe in just a second and why I've put Seamus Coleman in there. He also says is Keane a flop? No. And Mitch says hi Cam, listening live here from Australia this morning. Let's hope we get all 3 points. Let's hope so, Richard. Let's hope so. Thank you very much for tuning in from Australia. So as you can see, my predicted starting 11 there on my left hand side. I had to think about that one then. That's a little bit embarrassing. Before I go into the predicted starting 11, I do just want to go through a couple of quotes from Carlo Ancelotti, direct from Carlo Ancelotti himself from today's pre-game press conference. So he spoke about Jordan Pickford today. He was asked directly about the criticism for Jordan Pickford and whether he believes he's good enough going forward. He said he's the goalkeeper of the national team. Nobody is perfect. We have to accept the mistakes. Jordan is really important. He's a complete goalkeeper in modern football. You cannot just ask keepers to save shots. His hands are good enough. And he also said if he had to pick between a goalkeeper that was good with his feet or a goalkeeper that was good with his hands, he would pick good with his hands, which is quite refreshing to hear. He also said for me he's the best goalkeeper England have. I'm not worried about the critics. So I just wanted to say that then because it does sort of link into the the conversation and the discussion that we're having frequently now about, and we made an entire live stream on last week about whether Jordan Pickford's good enough and whether Carlo Ancelotti is going to deem him good enough at the end of the season. And like somebody mentioned in the live comments there, if we were going to bring somebody like Nick Pope in, it would mean that Carlo Ancelotti didn't feel like Jordan Pickford was good enough, because we wouldn't bring somebody like Nick Pope in to be a secondary choice goalkeeper. But it appears there today that he believes he's good enough. He believes that he's more than good enough. He said, like he said, not everybody's perfect. He makes mistakes, but we have to sort of stick with him through that. So going in off the back of that, we'll go into the predicted starting 11. I have gone for Jordan Pickford in goal. Obviously, it's pretty much a cert now with Jordan Pickford in there. There's nobody else to really battle it for him. I've gone for Luca Dean at left back. Again, pretty much a cert. I've gone for Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina at centre half. You know what? I actually feel like recently Michael Keane's done well. I think he's played well when he's had to come in and when he stepped in at centre-half, but I just still think our strongest partnership is Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina. I just think they're the strongest partnership, and I think they're the best possible partnership to deal with the pace and the fiery sort of offensive ability that Arsenal have got, to be honest with you. I like Michael Keane, but I think sometimes Michael Keane gets a little bit lost and a little bit confused in games, and that's the last thing we need if you've got somebody like Lacazette or Aubameyang running at him. I've gone for Seamus Coleman at right back. Now, this may turn some heads, this may have people, disagreeing. The reason I've gone for Seamus Coleman at right back, very similar to why I've chosen the centre-back partnership. First and foremost, I think Seamus Coleman was absolutely fantastic against Crystal Palace. For me, arguably man of the match. He didn't put a foot wrong all game. Defensively, he was fantastic. He had Wilfred Zaha in his pocket all day, and he done really, really well. Obviously, Sidibe come in midway through the first half because of Walcott's injury. He played in a little bit of a higher role, but I really, really like Jabril Sidibe, and I'd like us to sign Jabril Sidibe. I think he's a good attacking right back. I think he isn't so good defensively, and I think he massively, massively lets himself down defensively. Whereas flip reverse for Seamus Coleman, I think he's a decent defensive right back, not an amazing, but a decent defensive right back. And obviously he was fantastic. He was amazing offensively, before he got all the injuries and before, obviously he started to age with his career. I personally just believe that Seamus Coleman is a better defensive right back than Jabril Sidibe, and I think in this game, playing against the front four that we're likely to play against, Arsenal's front four, we're going to need a little bit more defensive security than I think Jabril Sidibe offers. The big thing that sticks out for me is the game a couple of weeks ago against Watford. Watford's first goal when Jabril Sidibe absolutely lost his man. Theo Walcott lost his man as well, and the right hand side was so exposed, where I just think Seamus Coleman brings a little bit more experience defensively, and if he can focus a little bit more on his defensive work, I think he, more often than not he has a decent game like shown against Crystal Palace. So I've gone for Seamus Coleman at right back there. If you're enjoying the team by the way so far, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Go and follow us on Instagram, Mighty Blues EFC over there, and at Mighty Blues YT on Twitter if you haven't followed us there as well. Going into the midfield now, the return, I have gone for Andre Gomes to come back in. Now, like I said at the start of the live stream, if you'd have asked me this even yesterday on Wednesday, I'd have said I don't think Andre Gomes is going to be in there. I think Carlo Ancelotti is most likely going to rest him and maybe bring him in for the game against Manchester United. But he's been talking about Andre Gomes today. He was asked questions about him, and this is what really, really did change my mind. So firstly, he said he was asked if he was surprised about the recovery time for Andre Gomes and how quickly he has got back into fitness and became match fit. Obviously less than 100 days since the injury. He said, knowing the people who are working here in the medical department, I am not surprised. What they done on the pitch when he first had the injury was very important. So talking about the medical staff that rushed to the pitch when obviously he first initially got the injury. He also said it's really important for me to talk to him. And then he was asked a little bit later on in the press conference about the possibility of him starting and what's the likelihood of him starting. And he said, if he is confident, in my opinion, he can play without a problem. Now, that for me is just screaming out that he's going to have a word with Andre Gomes. And as long as Andre Gomes gives the go-ahead, as long as Andre Gomes says, listen, I'm ready, I'm willing to play, he's going to be starting tomorrow. Not tomorrow, sorry, he's going to be starting on Sunday. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously, Gomes might come out and say, listen, boss, I'm not really feeling too great, or I'm not at 100%. I potentially rather leave it another week and maybe go in against Manchester United or come on off the bench and come on as a sub. Ancelotti did say today that whether he plays starts the game or comes on as sub is a decision he's going to have to make. But I just see Andre Gomes personally just saying, yeah, I'm ready, I'm willing to go, I'm confident, I want to get back involved, get me back in there. And, by Carlo Ancelotti's pre-game press conference today, he said if he says that, then he doesn't see why he won't start. So, there you go. Could we possibly see the return of Andre Gomes? Obviously, we've known for a couple of weeks now that there was always a potential of him coming in this game and always a potential of him starting and being involved. Obviously, over the last week or so, there has been a little bit of caution whether or not you'd put him straight in there. Ancelotti said today, basically, providing he says he wants to, providing he says he's ready, then he doesn't see why he wouldn't be ready. And obviously, in terms of midfield options, we haven't got an awful lot. Obviously, if Mason Holgate's going to play in centre defence, that eliminates one option. Fabian Delph hasn't been in the greatest run of form. Gylfi Sigurdsson hasn't had a good season whatsoever. Tom Davies hasn't been in the greatest run of form. So, Morgan, realistically, if Andre Gomes is fit and ready to play, he's, for me, our best technical midfielder by quite a stretch. You know, he would be in there. So I've gone with Andre Gomes. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know your thoughts. Morgan Schneiderlin partners him again. Thought he was fantastic against Crystal Palace. Another really, really solid game for Morgan. You know, the past sort of 3 or 4 games for Morgan Schneiderlin, I think he's played really, really well. Newcastle at home, despite the fact that obviously we threw it away in the last seconds, I still think he was fantastic in that game as well. So I've gone for Morgan Schneiderlin to partner Andre Gomes. Hopefully, with the view that Andre Gomes plays a little bit further forward, and he has that more of a free role, and obviously Schneiderlin just has to sit sort of in front of the defence and do the defensive bits. I've then gone for a front four of Alex Iwobi and Bernard on the wings. Like I mentioned before, Carlo Ancelotti today saying Bernard is fit for the game on Sunday. However, Theo Walcott is a doubt and will have to pass a late fitness test. Now, I'm basing the predicted starting 11 off the assumption that Theo Walcott won't pass the late fitness test or won't be deemed fit to at least start. So I've gone for Bernard on one wing and Alex Iwobi on the other. Obviously, there's the option to put Moise Kean there, but I think Carlo Ancelotti's had that option before to put Moise Kean in there, and he's favoured putting Iwobi in there, or he's favoured putting Theo Walcott in there. So I just think he'll go with those two on the wing if Theo Walcott doesn't pass the fitness test. If he does pass it, then I think Theo Walcott will be in there over Iwobi. And then, of course, the front two, the lethal strike partnership of Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin ended the obviously before the break fantastically. Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting a goal against Crystal Palace, Richarlison getting an absolute beauty against Crystal Palace as well. I think they've both been fantastic, especially since Duncan Ferguson and Carlo Ancelotti have come in. Richarlison has really, really matured as a player. He's shown that he is at a world-class level, in my opinion, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's improving every game. And if you're going to put your money on 2 people to score for Everton on Sunday, I think it'd be either one of these two, if not both of them, because I think that at the minute they are most natural goal scorers. Dominic Calvert-Lewin appears to be in the right place at the right time, constantly getting on the end of those deflections or those saves or whatever. You know, another thing I've sort of I've noticed over the last few months with Arsenal is that the goalkeeper can at times, he is a good goalkeeper, but he can at times, you know, make those mistakes, make those situations, and you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the minute seems to be in the right place at the right time to convert them, and obviously we know Richarlison can make a goal out of literally anything. I'd love to put Moise Kean in there, but I just don't think Carlo Ancelotti will do it. I think Moise Kean maybe will come off the bench with, I don't know, 20-25 minutes to go when Arsenal are tired in a little bit, and you know, they've got tired legs, and ideally they won't want somebody like Moise Kean to come on and give them a load of pace. So anyway, that's my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. If you're watching live, let me know your thoughts live and we'll go through them. Listen, it's a big game for Everton on Sunday, not only because it's a game against the side that we notoriously don't do well against, and it's a game against the side that we can, you know, sort of change the mentality around, really. If we go out and we get the 3 points at the Emirates, then that is a massive mentality shift for the future, because we haven't won it at Arsenal, I think, for, you know, a long time, definitely over 10-15 years. Sorry about that. Someone put in the comments there, last win in Arsenal was January 1996. So before I was born was the last time we beat Arsenal. We haven't won at the Emirates at all. So we can go out there. Obviously, not only will it be fantastic for the sort of mental aspect and to break that record, but also it'll be fantastic in the road to Europe. It'll mean it'll put us, you know, 5 points clear of Arsenal. It'll likely put us above the likes of Manchester United and Wolves on the day as well, at least until they play. So, you know, it's massive that we at least go out there and we aim for the 3 points. I think that's what we should be aiming for, because we can beat Arsenal. Arsenal aren't that great of a footballing team. They're not that great whatsoever. They haven't had a great season, and for me, I'd say Everton and Arsenal are probably on the same level, to be honest with you. All of this Sky Sports stuff and all of this media stuff that want to portray Arsenal as a top 4 side and one of the best sides in the country, they're not. They're really not. They're probably as good as Everton are. So, you know, there's no reason as to why we can't go out there and beat them, other than obviously the big burden of it being at the Emirates and being away from home, and obviously they've got a fantastic front four as well, to be fair to them. They're not that fantastic of a team, but they definitely can hurt you on the day, as they've shown against Newcastle, and that's why we have to be defensively strong, and we have to go out there, create our opportunities and put them away as well. If you're enjoying so far, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. We'll get into the live comments now before we end the stream. Where we said, Rich, Is that how it goes? Matthew says, is this Everton's best chance of beating Arsenal away for years? Last Toffee's win was at Arsenal, January 1996. Like we said, I think it is. I think it really, really is, mate. And then they says, I really hope that Iwobi gets on this game. Needs to get a good match under his belt. Yeah, I'm not too sure how Iwobi will do, obviously, with it being against his former club, being away from home against his former club. First time he's played Arsenal at the Emirates since he's left. I'm not too sure how well he'll do. I just think if Theo Walcott isn't fit, I think Iwobi will play. But hopefully he settles down, he has a good game, and he can, prove the Arsenal fans wrong. Wayne says, hey Hernandez, how's it going on your side? Hazard says, alright Cam, hope all is well with you, up to effing toffees. Thank you very much, hope all is well with you as well. Wayne says Iwobi needs to lift this game now under Ancelotti, as he wasn't his player. I'm not sold on him. Don't think he's a top 4 player. Fair enough, I agree. He does need to lift his game. Hazard says, hope all viewers are well. Also, Neil Satterson is the optimum. Thanks very much. Wayne says, I'm confused on Iwobi, Wayne. I don't dislike the player, but I'm not sure where he fits if he keep playing 4-4-2. I actually agree with that. I think he's more beneficial through the middle as a number 10 sort of attacking midfielder, if you like, but obviously Carlo Ancelotti hasn't really played with a formation that allows a number 10 or allows an attacking midfielder in that capacity, so if we're going to see Alex Iwobi, it's likely to be on the wing. Hazard says needs to have a good performance, Iwobi all the team. Wayne says, hey, Hazard, YouTube, bro. Wayne says, I wouldn't sign Iwobi for that money at his age. Not for me. It is only, 12 to 14 million, something like that. But, it's a fair point. It is a fair point, to be honest. Richard says, Coleman has done well lately at right back and deserves a start. However, we need to adjust his position in the summer. We do, definitely. Wayne says, hit the like, guys. Support the Mighty Blues. If you could, it'd mean a massive amount to me. Hazard says, I'm okay, mate. Hope you are well. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks very much for asking. Eugene says, Everton will beat Man United next Sunday. I hope so, mate. I hope so. Richard says, Juventus interested in signing Sidibe. I don't know how much is in that, to be honest, Richard. I've got a slight feeling that rumour has come from Jabril Sidibe's agent, who is trying to push Everton for a bit of progression, obviously, in the rumour, and push Everton to get a move on with whether or not they're going to sign him. But, it has been rumoured today that Juventus are interested in Sidibe, and they're waiting for Everton to respond in regards to whether they're going to sign him or not, so we'll see how that one develops. Wayne says, another one, Wayne, I like Sidibe, seems like a good lad, but he isn't good enough defensively to be a right back. He is decent as a right winger, but probably not top class. I think that's probably a fair point. Wayne says, but I like him, so I'd have him in the squad to cover 2 positions to play less important games, possibly. And for 12 to 14 million pounds, it's not an awful lot of money in this day and age, is it? Let's be honest. As it says, what do you think of John Joe Kenny? I think he's done well at Schalke. I think he's done really, really well at Schalke so far. But if we're being realistic, John Joe Kenny's not going to come back to Everton in the summer and be our starting right back next season. Just my opinion. So I think possibly a second season on loan at Schalke will do him the world of good. Hazard says, yes, Sidibe would sign him. Decent player. Richard says, haven't seen enough of John Joe Kenny since he left on loan. He's doing well. He is doing well over there, but it's a completely different league, of course. Wayne says, come on guys, hit the like, support the scattergun of Everton information. That is Cam, thank you very much. He also says, yeah, John Joe has done well on loan. Richard, maybe he'll be brought back and looked at in the summer. He's being looked at now. I know Marcel Brands has been over to Germany to watch him. The Everton's scouts and Everton's team are keeping a keen eye on John Joe Kenny. So he is being looked at, definitely. He's being assessed all the time, every time he plays over there. Whether he'll be brought back or not, or whether he'll be allowed to stay for another year, obviously is up to the club. As it says, apparently he's playing well in Germany. You've got to be done, Cam, take the game to them. Exactly, spot on. He also says, but definitely no stupid mistakes, hopefully not. Where he says we should get Kenny back, he can help Sidibe find the socks. Mad, that was a mad situation, wasn't it? Such a mad situation. Max, it's just fantastic seeing Gomes back in the squad. Could this be the start of something special? Well done, Cam, thank you very much. I hope so, mate. Let's hope that he is back in the squad. And, let's hope that if he is back in the squad, I've said this multiple times over the last week, if Andre Gomes starts on Sunday, let's hope that he's starting at 150% fitness. No little worries here and there. If he's going to start, he needs to be 150% ready to start. Hazard says, haha, Whammy says, you didn't talk about why you predicted draw, Cam. I haven't yet. I just think a draw at this point in time, when you look at both sides, when you look at the form of both sides, obviously away from home for Everton is going to be naturally tougher, but we are in better form. That is a fact. I just fancy a draw more than anything, to be honest with you. I can't struggle to see us going out there and getting a convincing win, but I would be shocked if we lost, to be honest with you, although that's probably going to sound a little bit weird being an Evertonian, so I just think it's us as the most likely result. But I just think Carlo maybe tempted to change the system for this game, possibly with a midfield 3, potentially. Wayne says, no, don't think so, Matt. We'll play 4-4-2. Hopefully, Moise and Gomes start. If Keane starts, who comes out, though? Because I really don't think you can take Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison out at this point. Maybe put him on the wing, potentially. I don't know. D says, hello, glad to be back on this channel. Thank you very much. Glad to have you back, D. David says, Guendouzi won't be playing. As Arteta has fallen out with them, so 4-4-2 would let us overpower them. That's a good point. Odin says score prediction. I've gone for 2-2. And George says Essex Blue here. Shout out to you, Cam. Love the show. Thank you very much, George. Really, really do appreciate that. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. A big game for Everton on Sunday. Not only a big chance for us to get over this burden of not beating Arsenal away from home, but also a big chance for us to gain points on them and remain really, really in that fight for Europa League, and let the other sides know, the Manchester Uniteds, the Tottenhams, the Chelseas, the Wolves, the Sheffield Uniteds, the Arsenals, that we're really, really serious in this and that we can get a good result against a hard team to beat away from home. That's going to do it for today. Don't forget to leave a like if you have enjoyed. Please do subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. It only takes a second. Please do go and follow us on Twitter at MightyBluesYT and Instagram MightyBluesEFC. Both the usernames, links, etc. are in the description. Don't forget to go over and check us out on those. I'll obviously be back on Sunday straight after the game. Game is 4:30 kickoff, so I'll be back straight after that for the instant match reaction. Don't forget to join us for that one. You'll have my instant thoughts on the game and the result as well. Remy says, I agree, Katie draw. Hopefully we pip with a goal over. Hopefully D says, hey David, Matteo played yesterday in the 1-0 win. Dave says, we're defo better than the arse. Odran says, we could do 4-1-2-1-2. We could potentially. Remy says, have a good weekend, guys. Thank you very much. D says, only time will tell. It will. Remy says, and when you're back, obviously I'm back for the instant match reaction on Sunday. We'll have the live game review on Monday, 5:30, so don't forget to join us for that one. Odran says, later, Cam. Wayne says, hit the like 96 P's for Cam. Thank you very much. He also says, come on, you Blues. Dave says, I know, Deke. And Wayne says, have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you very much. That's going to do it today. Big thanks for watching. Please do hit that like if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Come on, you Blues. Big chance to go out there and get a result. Let's hope that Carlo Ancelotti's Blues can do it. Massive game. Arsenal versus Everton, 4:30 on Sunday. Let's hope we can go out there and get the 3 points. Will Andre Gomes start or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. If you're watching this YouTube video, leave your comments in the comment section and I'll try and get involved with as many of them as possible. Big thanks for watching and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.